Hey friends, Jeff here with www.missionmusician.com, and today I want to talk about templates. I want to show you how to set up a recording template, and I want to show you how to set up a mixing template. Why do we want to do that? Well, because it makes it much easier and it doesn't dampen the creative process, and the quicker you can get things done, the more creative you can be. It's just a good practice to get into using templates. So everything's all set up, ready for you to go. Now, one caveat to this is I'm not going to be able to show you exactly how I would do it because I am using a virtual, I'm using this voice meter thing, and that is actually what is running my Pro Tools at the moment. So if I was playing audio through Pro Tools, you could hear it. What I normally use is a Sapphire, but I can't do that and record audio through here without having that voice meter on. So I will give you the general idea. You'll be able to do it, but I just wanted to make note of that. So let's start with a recording template, and I'm going to add, let's say, for now, 20 tracks. No, let me think about this. Let's do 15. Oops. 2015, that would be awesome. 15, and then maybe 4. Let's try that. All right, so the very first thing I want to do is drums, and that's usually, for me, it's usually 9 tracks. So I'm going to rename these. Kick, snare top, snare bottom, tom 1, tom 2, floor tom, and a mono room. Oops. And a mono room. And just, okay, come on. I want to grab one of these stereo tracks and bring it up here. So I normally do stereo overheads. I'm going to rename this guy overheads. Just OH. All right. And let's see here. I want to go from here down to here, and I like to make my drum tracks red. All right, and then what I would do is go through and select all my inputs for my interface. So kick would be 1, snare top would be 2, snare bottom 3, tom 1 4, tom 2 5, so on and so forth, and just mark set all of your inputs to where you would plug these into. Okay. And then next, I would go, let's rename this bass. Actually, I want to rename that bass DI. Hit OK. You could put another track for bass amp if you wanted to here. I don't generally track bass amps. Sometimes I do, but not very often. So I'm going to go maybe 4 guitar tracks. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Let's go to here. I'm going to rename these guitar left, guitar right, and you can name these whatever you want. Guitar lead, guitar fill. All right, and then I'm going to name, actually, let's go back up here. Whoops. And I like my guitar tracks orange. And I'm going to name this one AG for acoustic guitar. And I'm going to hit that one green. Oops. All right. Now, my guitars, I have a Kemper profiling amp that I use to record guitars with, so I would set this up to SPDIF, but it's not giving me that option because I'm using Voicemeeter as my playback engine at the moment. However you do guitars, if you mic them, just set this to input 1 or, you know, input 2, whatever you use. And make sure you set all that up. And then I would set acoustic guitar for input 1. That's fine. Then if you have any keyboards or anything like that, you might want to put that in as a stereo track. Let's see, what else? I'm going to do lead Vox and BGV1 for background vocal. Let's see. And I don't know if I'm getting into my stereo tracks here. You want to make sure. I guess I shouldn't have added so many stereo tracks, because the only stereo tracks that I really need would be for a keyboard or for overheads. Let's see. I'm going to delete these, and I'm going to add, let's see, I'm going to add new, and I'm going to do maybe 3. I don't know what my kids are doing upstairs. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Sorry if you can. Let's see. Rename. I'm going to do BGV2, BGV3, and vocal double. And actually, I'm going to move the vocal double up a little Vox, and I would have these all set to input 1, which is fine. That's all fine. And I like this purple, and I like these a light purple. All right, so let's see, do I have everything? Bass, drums, guitar. Now obviously if you have a mandolin player or piano or whatever, you would want to add all that in now. So whenever you go to track your album, or if you're tracking an album for someone else, all you got to do is pull this template up, rename it for the song that you want, save it as that, and you're good to go. All you got to do is hit record, and you're good to start track. Oops, sorry about that. I didn't realize I was on input 1. You're good to start tracking. All right, so I'm going to save this. I'm going to save as recording template and save that. Yep. All right, now let's set up a mixing template. And I believe I renamed one already. Let's see. Here it is. All right, let's close this for a minute. And don't know why all this is on here. Let me get rid of this really quick. Okay. So this one is going to have quite a bit more stuff to it. Now, I switch my templates up quite often so I don't get in a rut or a habit of doing stuff in one way. Because once I start doing that, I start thinking that there's a formula, and I don't want to think about music that way. So I'll change up my templates just to freshen up my view on Pro Tools, and just to make me think a little bit more when I start mixing, and not to just automatically just start doing something like I did on a different song. But for the most part, I'm going to set this up how I would normally kind of do it. So let's start with some tracks. I'm going to go new, and let's go 18, and maybe, well, let's see here, maybe 2, and then I want to go maybe 8 aux channels. Now, recently I've been using, since Pro Tools 12 has updated us to VCAs, I've been using those, but I'm not going to set that up right now. I'm just going to use aux channels, and then I am going to set up, let's see, a master fader. And it's going to be a stereo master fader, and these are going to be stereo auxes. And I didn't make that stereo, so there we go. All right, let's create all these and start naming. Let's see. All right, so similar to before, I'm going to, oops, rename these. Kick, snare T, snare B, time 1, okay. And I'm going to grab one of these stereo tracks and bring it up here. And name it overhead. Now, you may be thinking, well, why are you doing a recording one? Can't you just use the recording one for mixing? Well, technically you can, but I'm telling you, it's so much easier if you just set up a template and then drag all the files, all the audio into each specific channel. And I'll show you why, because we're going to be setting up sends and returns and aux channels, and we're going to be putting some plugins on. So I absolutely love to do recording and mixing templates, and it just makes life so much easier because you don't have to set this up for every song. You just open the template and you drag the files in. It's just way easier. Let's see, where was I? Okay, and we don't need to worry about setting in any inputs and outputs yet. And actually, we don't need to worry about setting any inputs except for the aux channels. Let's bring this over here, red. And let me scroll down here and rename this. Rename it bass, DI. And then, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just naming these real quick, sorry. Guitar fill. Alright, I'm going to make these guys orange. Alright. And then I'm going to, let's see, name this acoustic guitar. And make the screen. And let's see. Okay. Let's rename these. I'm going to do lead, Vox, Vox double, BGV1, BGV2, BGV, oops. All right, I'm just gonna make all of these purple. No. Okay. And then if you had like a piano track or keyboards or anything, or tambourine or congas, whatever you normally record, make sure to put all that in here and put it all in your recording template as well. Okay, so now I'm going to set up some auxiliary tracks, and I'm going to rename this one drums. I like to capitalize all of my auxiliary tracks, and I'm going to name this one Slam. This is going to be for parallel compression on the drums. I'm going to take these two and bring them up here below the drums, and I'm going to make an aux track for this, or a send, and let's see. Well, here we go, drums. And I'm going to take all of my drums here. I'm going to select all of them, and I'm going to hit Alt-Shift on the keyboard. And I'm going to click on the output, and I'm going to send them to drums. So now all of these tracks are routed through here, and I'm going to solo safe this by holding down Control and clicking on it. So when I solo the drums, they play through here. And let's see. I am going to, let's see, how can I do this? Sends. I'm going to send all of, well, not all of them. I'm going to send, let's see. Oh, my bad. I haven't created a send for the slam track. Let me get down here really quick. And here's slam. So I'm going to send the kick. Let's see. Let me bring this down here. I'm going to send it pre, and I'm going to follow the main pan, and I'm just going to bring that down to the snare and to the toms, and I may do it to the snare bottom and the floor tom, and that's it. Okay, so now I've got all these tracks sent to this track right here, and I'm not going to solo safe it, and I'm going to mute it, and I'm going to put a compressor on it. And just for now, I'm just going to use all stock plugins. I'm not even going to, I'm just going to turn threshold all the way up, and so this track's ready for me to go once we start. And before we go down any further, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to put an EQ. I always EQ before I compress. Some people don't. That's okay. And I'm going to put a compressor on it. So when I open up this session and drag these in, I'm literally ready to go. So I'm just going to copy these down. And I normally don't use the stock compressor on drums, but sometimes I do. I use them on the toms, but I have some favorites that I use on snare and kick. Oops, that's a stereo track. Alright, and then I may even put, one more level of EQ on this. And maybe even a little compression to tame it some more. Same thing with bass. And bass, I don't generally send to a bus. Now, you know what? We got to set something else up before we go any further. I like to mix into a submix auxiliary. So I'm going to name this submix. So all my channels go to here before they go to the master fader, and I put all of my 2-bus processes. You know what I'm trying to say. I can't say it today. And so let me set this up really quick. Let's see, do I have anything here that says submix? That's all right. I'll rename this to submix. All right. And I like this guy to be red. So now I'm going to take, all my drums are routed to this bus right here. Okay. You can see the output drums, input drums. I'm going to make the output submix. So now this is going to my submix. Okay. Same with this. I'm going to make the output submix. And same with the bass. I'm going to make the output submix. And I also like to make all of my auxiliary tracks a bright blue so I can see them easier. And I'm going to take all of the guitars and let's see. Well, I didn't make a bus for them yet. Let me make a bus for them. I'm going to name this guitars. Oops. Alright, and I'm going to set an input. Let's see, do I have anything named guitars? Yep, there we go. And I'm going to scoot this guy up here underneath the guitars. And I'm going to take all of my guitars and route them to the guitar bus. Alright, so now they're all going to guitars. Their output is to guitars, which feeds this. And this is going to go to the submix. So if you're following, all my guitar tracks come to this auxiliary track, and then they go out to the submix. Okay? And like before, I'm going to drag, no, not compression. I'm just going to drag EQ. And I may use a little tad of compression on acoustic guitar to even it out. Alright. And I'm going to recolor this. Okay. Now, let's see. I'm going to rename this. Let's see. Sometimes I do a background bus. Matter of fact, that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a lead Vox bus and a BGV bus. So, and you're probably thinking to yourself, well, why do you do a Vox bus if you just got one channel coming to it? Well, because I have more control that way with volume than I do. In other words, I can change the volume of the backgrounds, as opposed if I sent all of these to one vocal bus, I would have to go in and adjust the vocal bus, and if I got, you know, some plugins or some effects on it, it could affect that if they're not pre-sent or pre-fader. So, or post-fader, I'm sorry. I'm getting confused here. It's late. Here we go. Let's set up an input for, let's see, do I have any? Let's just call this Vox, and I'm going to send this bus to Vox. So my lead vocal, no, did I solo safe this? No. You need to solo safe all your buses, so when you solo this track, or any track that's assigned to that bus, you can hear it. Otherwise, you would have to solo this and then solo this. Alright, So, and let's set up a background bus input. Let's see, back Vox, that works. So let's take these and take them to back Vox. Solo safe these. All right. So I'm going to take these for now and drag them down here. And let's take some EQ and compression. EQ and compression. EQ, compression. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this a little bit differently. Well, the Vox double, I'll probably have compression on, but these I'm going to run down here, and then I'm going to put a compressor on the background bus. And I may even, let's see, let's do this. Let's pull this down and pull this down. And let's even throw a de-esser in there. Okay. All right, and on my submix, I want to put some EQ. I want to put some compression. And if I were setting this up just for me, I have Slate's plugins, and they are incredible for two bus processing. His virtual tape machine, virtual console collection. His new FG Bomber is awesome. So I would be set. I would set that up on my submix. But for right now, we're just going to use a little bit of EQ, a little bit of compression, and let's go ahead and let's set up a reverb. Actually, let's do a couple. Let's do vocal plate. Oops. And let's do room verb. And let's go ahead and bring in deverb and set this for plate, maybe a medium. Actually, let's see what they got going on here. Vocal plate, how about that? All right, and let's set up a room reverb. And let's see, what do they got? Let's just do a medium room. That works. And I'll make both of these yellow. And let's see, let's set the inputs really quick. I'm seeing if I have anything already labeled that. No. I'm going to call this Vox plate. And room verb. So now, anytime I want to send something to the verb, I mean, seriously, all I got to do is just click bus and scroll down and find room verb, and boom. Super easy. Now let's add just, let's see. New. Let's go to stereo. Aux. And let's call this quarter. Let's see, quarter delay. And let's call this one long delay. Alright, and let's get the delay on there. Let's do the mod 3 and set it to quarters. Sorry, set the quarter, and I'm gonna take the groove and I'm just gonna bump it up just a little bit so we get some separation. And I'm gonna turn the feedback up a little bit on these and call that good. And let's go to long verb, or long delay, sorry. And let's see what we got here. Let's just do this. Let's just do a half note. Turn the feedback up some. Let's do, I'll tell you what, let's do half and quarter. And let's do that and set up buses. So let's just delay 1. I'm gonna rename that to quarter delay. Rename this to long delay. And I love to filter delays, so I am going to put an EQ after both of them. All right, so let's see, and let's color these really quick. I like to color those green. So we're all set up. So now all we would need to do is, in our recording session, grab our clips of everything that we recorded and just drag them from that file into here. And then we could take our clips and just drag them from in here, in here into, well, here. Let me just, let's see if I can find something to show you. Hold on just a second. Alright, so if I come here and I grab all of these, and obviously there's a whole lot more here, but if I drag them into the clip file, then what I can do is I can, let's see, what do we got here? So it looks like we've got a 12-inch tom and a 16-inch tom. So I could start populating this by just taking a 12 and bringing that to tom 2 and floor tom. I'm not going to do all of these because I don't have all the tracks, but there's acoustic, and I don't have a B3, and there's a lot of background vocals on this. Holy cow. Let's just do some. Oops, make sure you drag them all the way to the front. All right, and what else do we got here? Electric 1 and 2. Let's do guitar left, guitar right, electric 3. We could go to guitar fill. Oh, you know, there's one thing I forgot to add was hi-hat, although I don't generally mic a hi-hat. We got lead 1. Is that a vocal or is that a guitar? Let me listen to this really quick. Yeah, it's guitar. Let's scroll up. we have a room. Well, first let's get the kick. This actually has 2 kick drums. I'm just going to put one in there for now so you can get the idea here. And overhead and room. Scroll back up. You got snare top, snare bottom, whoops, snare bottom, and lead box. Did I get the overheads? Yeah. Let's get the bass really quick and then just give a quick listen, even though everything's not in here. Where did I see the bass? I know I saw it. There it is. And did I get any acoustic guitar? Yeah. All right, so let's just listen here. So there you go. Everything's routed. You can see now. Let's just try this. You can see now that with one button, I can get rid of all the drums and get rid of all the acoustic, or I'm sorry, all the guitars. So I have complete control of everything now, and now I'm actually ready to start mixing. As soon as I set my static mix up, I'm ready to go. So that's the beauty of using templates, and I would encourage you all to set up a template for recording and mixing. I mean, you only have to do it once. I've been mixing forever, it seems like, and I change it up maybe once a year. You definitely don't need to do that. You can just set it and forget it. Just when you're ready to record, pull up your recording template, rename it as a new file, and you're ready to go. Name it as your song, and you're ready to start recording on it. So I realize this was a long video, and I hope you learned something from it. And don't forget to stop by the blog over at www.missionmusician.com. I'm giving away a free tutorial bundle. It comes with 2 ebooks and 3 tutorial videos. One of the videos is on how to use EQ. Another one's on how to use compression. And then there's another one that's called Quick Start to Pro Tools that walks you through using Pro Tools, how to record with it, how to set things up. And I basically did that video because Pro Tools has launched Pro Tools First, which is a free version of Pro Tools. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the blog.